All right, we are live. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. All right. So, today's live topic: how much money does it actually cost to start and run a trucking company? Just so that you don't fall into the statistics of failing within the first 5 years. So, we're gonna wait for some more people to join. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me adjust this banner really quick. All right, let's see. What's up, Kurt? I'm just editing the banner really quick. Uh, how's everyone doing today? All right, here we go. So I put it down here. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Make sure you guys smash that like button because that's the way that YouTube helps push the YouTube algorithm pushes our content out to more and more people. I can't see if anyone's pressing the like button, so let me know who else is in here in the chat. Make sure you chime in, say hello, and then also give me a number. Let's come up with a number of how much we think it would cost to start and run a trucking company. Really? Okay, background static. Let me see. Is that better? Let me know now. It might be my air purifier that you guys are hearing. It's not better? Alright, let me go turn down my air purifier. Give me 1 second, guys. How's that? Is that better? We're talking just one truck. Just to start, you got to start from somewhere, right? How's the audio? Is that better now? Kurt, try to back out and then come back in. Because I don't know why you would be hearing a lot of background static. Ryan, how's the audio on the video? Is it good? Okay. So, Kurt, it might just be on your end. Okay. Let me grab my phone. All right, so let's throw up some numbers here. You guys want to do like high or low? Like, so let's start off with the basics. Are we gonna rent or are we gonna try to buy? Let's go from there. Are we gonna rent or are we gonna try to buy right off rip? and we need a budget. We need some type of budget. So let's start off with some type of budget um, that you think. Yeah, Ryan said his audio is fine, man. Ryan said his audio is fine. So I have no idea what else could be the problem. Yeah, I have no idea what else could be the problem. All right. So anyone have any solid numbers? All right, let's say buy. Now, are we grabbing a Freightliner or a Pete or a Kenworth? So it all depends on how much money you guys want to spend and the luxury and the value that you guys want to, you know, want to get. Yeah, there you go, Kurt. No problem. Um, so let's just say for like a good starter truck, you know, we're gonna go over the road because most local jobs are already covered. All right, so I'm pulling up some right here. Let me see. Let me see if I can get a. It won't even. We're gonna do drive-in. Let's do drive-in sleeper. Drive-in sleeper, and you guys want to do new or used? So let's come up with a budget first, and let's see what fits our budget. 225,000 right now. I don't know. I was thinking about let's buy a used truck. So I'm looking at used trucks in between 25 and 50,000. But if you guys want to go, yeah, used is a lot cheaper. But you guys got to realize, all right, we're going with used, and used are gonna have a lot of miles on them. So let's see what we got. All right, so I'll start from the top. These are all on auction. These are all like all over the place. So I'm looking for what the odometer is. This one doesn't even have an odometer on it. So I probably wouldn't even buy anything like this, but a 1995 Volvo, probably not. So what year range we're gonna go with? Let's figure out a year range. Now I know before the year 2008 is before the DPF system law was enacted, so that all trucks uh, after that year had to be manufactured with DPF system, diesel particulate filters, in them. So are we going pre 2008 or post 2008? Well, I thought it was 2000. I mean, we could go with 2010, but I'll look it up. Let me look it up really quick. Let me share a different screen. Present, share screen. We'll go new tab right here. DPF system law enactments. Since 2009, so it was like, I guess, right in between. Oh, that. Oh, okay. So, all right. So I guess maybe they were talking about it in 2008. All right. So the EPA introduced diesel exhaust fluid in 2010. Okay. So you're right. Yeah. So 2010. So anything, anything 2010 and earlier, there's no DPF system. So let's decide now. Do we want to go pre 2010 or post 2010? I'm thinking pre 2010. Yes, it comes with more miles, most likely, but it's less system headaches that you have to deal with the DPF system. So all you new owner operators out there, if you want my advice on how to get into the trucking industry, we're gonna get into it. Like what kind of budget you need. My advice is don't do it right now. It's not the time at all. It's not the time, especially with the rates how low they are, the cost of parts, the cost of labor. It's just not even worth it. All right, so pre 2010. So let's see what we got on the lineup, and we'll just do it really quick because I'm not trying to spend too much time. Rebuilt engine with the last. Am I looking to start my company back up? Negative. Um, not for trucking anyway. It's something about this ring light. It makes me it makes me yawn all the time. Like the closer I am to it, it makes me want to yawn all the time. And I'm not even really tired. Not yet. I'm not. Let's see. Rebuilt engine with the last few 100,000 miles. Okay. And with the new nonsense they just enacted. Okay, cool. All right, so let me share this. Oh, that was the wrong tab. Sorry. There we go. So let's find one with 2010 or cheaper. Look, this truck is only 3 years old and already has over 827,000 miles on it. So we got to be realistic with what we're asking for here. So let me see if there's a filter. Let's see if there's a filter. Year. Okay. All right, so they got a 2007 That's on auction. Wow, look at this one. A 1980 Freightliner. That's pretty nice. Detroit engine, 293 on the dash. And it's not on auction, but it's out in Indiana. 13 speed air ride suspension. Okay, what are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking? You guys like that? Yes, cab over, right? That's pretty nice. So, you guys want to go with this one, 25,000? And we're just rounding the numbers, guys. We're gonna just round the numbers. Or should we do like best of 3? You guys want to do best of 3? Everyone else in the comment section, chime in. Let me know, how much money should we spend on a truck if we're starting up a trucking company? We've already established we're going to go pre-2010. Because pre-2010, you don't have to worry about the DPF system, which is one more system that you don't have to worry about constant fails and constant filter cleanings and regens and all of that BS. All right, so Ryan, you said yes to what? You got to be specific because I asked multiple questions there. Let's see. What was the miles on that? Miles 293. It's still a baby. And it's a 1980, guys. Look at this. This thing is beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. Look at this. Guys, hello. Hello? Somebody seeing this? Come on, come on, come on. Get out of my way. Look at that. Look at that. Sheesh. Closed shoulder tires. Oh, and it got the pin hooks on them. Guys, this is like a winner chicken dinner. Like if I had the money, I'd get this. This is nice. This is nice. I mean, guys, you guys could have vacuumed this. You guys could have vacuumed this. For real. You guys are selling this truck online. You guys could have vacuumed it. Look, it's got a coffin bunk in it. Yeah, you know, that's all I need. Look at that. Wow. Yep. All right. Sorry. Best of 3? Okay, cool. All right. Anybody else? Any takers? Anybody else second that we want this truck right here? That this is the one? All right. So we'll keep that in mind right here. That's pretty nice. I might. And they just updated this Tuesday, April 18th. So yesterday. I might send this to my buddy Chris. See if he's going to buy it. All right, so 2001 Peterbilt, 1.2 million miles on it. 2001 Peterbilt, 379, 1.2 million miles, 10-speed transmission. Top half replaced, new trans, new front diff with within 50,000 miles. Okay. So it had it had the top end done on the truck, the transmission and new front diff all done within 50,000 miles. So that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. So this one's 67,500. What do you guys think? All right. What's up, Jericho? So right now we're trying to come up with a budget of what new owner operators like. How much do you think that it would cost new owner operators just getting into the industry to run a trucking company? So now, while I got you guys here, and you guys got to see my face for this one. So I called up Penske yesterday just for them to humor me, right? So I asked them what was the weekly rate, the weekly, not monthly, rate on a truck. Does anyone want to take a guess in Connecticut just for a weekly rental for a tandem axle sleeper? Anyone want to take a guess? Tandem axle sleeper from Penske, weekly rate. Anyone want to take a guess? Okay, so we got Ryan coming in at 2,100. Anybody else want to take a guess? Come on, there's 7 people in here. Someone else chime in. How much do you think that Penske's charging for a weekly rental rate? Alright, you guys are taking too long. So let me pull it up right here. Give you guys an opportunity to chime in while I'm doing this. And and is that flat rate or is there any is that flat rate or do they charge extra for mileage and stuff? Okay. Jericho said 26. What's up, Peter? Right now we're guessing. What is the weekly rental rate on a tandem axle sleeper from Penske right now? Chime in before I tell you. I got the number right here. Alright, so that's flat? Okay. So Ryan says 2,100 miles included. Like, how much are we talking? So Ryan says 2,100. Everyone else chime in. I'm gonna let you guys know right now for it. All right. So Peter says 1,900. So I regret to inform you that the person that came the closest, but still is off by a bit, was Jericho. So Jericho came in at 2,600. Right now, the weekly rental rate for a tandem axle sleeper at Penske, according to rental that I called yesterday, I called the Penske West Haven office, was $2,750 for the weekly rate, not including 22 cents per mile and a down deposit of $15,000. So eyes purple crying. And that's not even including a trailer. So I asked about a 48-foot flatbed. A 48-foot flatbed for the week goes for $192.60 a mile, not including a $2,500 deposit. So all you new owner operators out there that are looking to get into this, are looking to get into the trucking industry, now you got to outweigh your options. So you're going to have at least $15,000 tied up into a deposit for the truck. and almost $3,000 per week. And my company, we were barely scraping by, paying $1,200 a week. And then they bumped it up to, they wanted to bump it up to 1,800, and then they wanted to bump it up to 22, and that was still giving me a deal because I was kind of like grandfathered in, you know. So now you got about $3,000 per week tied up. So do the math. 3 grand. So on average, you would say that, how many miles do you think we would run on average? You figure in the Northeast, you could probably do at a 65 mile per hour speed limit. Maybe I could get my buddy Chris on the phone. Let me see if he wants to talk, to let him hear the craziness. Because fun fact for you guys, Chris just tried to do his owner operator thing and it did not go well. Let me see. He might be asleep. Yo, yo. Hey, so I'm live right now. Would you be interested in joining the conversation? Yeah, honestly. Uh, about what it would cost to run a trucking company right now per week. Yeah, so those are the numbers we're going over right now. So I'm talking to the viewers, and I called Penske yesterday. Penske wants 2750 per week for a tractor and 22 cents a mile. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Yep. I don't have you on speaker right now, just so you know. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Can I put you on speaker so you could just repeat what you just said? All right. So go ahead. How much money did they want? How much you said? How much money did you have to put down on $140,000 loan? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what? Yep. Yep. And they even ask you for collateral. Mm-hmm. So someone said we should start a company with $800,000. You think that would be enough to get us by in this economy? Yeah, 800,000. I
Yeah,
think
it
I
might
think
be,
it.
that might be in the beginning because again, let's just say it's a startup. Now you're new authority. You don't have
Hmm.
you're limited as to who you could work with. You're running the spot market. 800.
Hmm. I mean, I think it would be good to start off with, and for that, you should just buy a truck outright.
Yeah, you buy a truck outright, buy a trailer outright,
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
and don't ever plan on going home. At least not for a couple years.
Yeah. So, what? So you were a lease operator for a company. I don't want to put them out there, but what were they charging you per week for the truck?
My truck payment, if I remember correctly, is 875, 875 maybe.
And then did they charge you by the mile or only for maintenance?
Yeah, 14 cents. Well, yeah, just for maintenance, 14 cents to the mile.
And
I paid
then,
for fuel, plates, the
mhm.
trailer rental, uh, fuel plates, trailer, if the uh, insurance.
And the how much were you making before your deductions, and then after your deductions, not paying yourself?
I was probably I was probably grossing around 4 grand, maybe a little bit better. After deductions, before taxes, I was probably in the $1,700 range
Mm.
before taxes.
Yeah, so you were only making about 4 grand a week. You said before taxes, right?
Yep.
And that's not even including the deductions.
Right, that was gross. That was before the deductions. After all the deductions and everything, I was, like I said, I was probably in the $1,700 range.
Yep.
Then I had to take out taxes.
Yep. So that leaves you with almost next to nothing.
Yeah, on top of other bills and whatnot.
Hmm.
It definitely leaves you at the point where it's not worth it.
Yep. And how long? How long
But
did?
the kicker with that deal though is that was also forced dispatch.
Hmm.
So I had no say in I had no say in any kind of load uh, whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, how long were you doing that before you realized it was never gonna get better or it was never gonna pan out?
Oh, I don't know what, 6 months, 8 months, something like that.
Yeah.
Because I only been here. I only been here 2 months last week.
Yeah. And so, for all the viewers watching and listening, Chris actually landed a job. I'm not gonna say with who, um, but he landed a job and he makes, with no responsibility to the finances of the vehicle, more than what he was making as a lease operator.
Yeah, my salary with my bonus, if I get 100%. of my fuel bonus and my safety bonus every
Mm-hmm.
is 1987.
So Chris is making, and that's before taxes, right?
That's that's before taxes,
So,
insurance,
yep.
all that.
And you get full benefits there?
Yeah, we have insurance. Yeah, we have health insurance, dental, vision, life insurance.
Yeah. So we were trying to figure out what would be a safe number to start up a trucking business in today's market.
Well, you know the saying: if you want to make a million, start with two.
Yeah, yep. Yep. And what trailer do you think would generate the most revenue right now across the board?
I mean, this company that I'm working with, I see why they could pay the employees what they pay. But they have a lot of 99% of our stuff is dedicated customers.
Yeah.
They're some sort of tri-axle
Mm-hmm.
or quad axle kind of stuff.
So for people who don't
We
know,
don't- Yeah, we don't have any regular spread axles or tandem axle trailers. Everything is set up for heavy haul.
yeah. So Chris does heavy haul every day, and is required to get heavy haul permits everywhere he goes. And the typical weight that you haul is what, 120?
Yeah, we run up to 125,000, on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
We're between 100 and 125. It just, really depends.
Yeah, it depends on the load. Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we were checking out trucks, and so yeah, let me present this for you guys here. Present, share. So yeah, so we were checking out trucks for sale from truckpaper.com,
Yeah.
and we found a beautiful 1980 Freightliner for only $25,000 in Butler, Indiana, with less than 300,000 miles on it.
Probably a farm truck.
Probably. It has it.
What's nice about that is you got no DPF.
Yep.
Be running paper logs.
Yep, and that's exactly what we were just talking about. No DPF. It has a 13-speed transmission.
It's a day cab or a sleep?
It's a coffin bunk,
Okay.
and it's gorgeous. It's black and red, cab over, has heat, air conditioning, brown seats, you name it, and only the bed in the back. No space to put a fridge or nothing.
No, of course not.
Yep. And they want $25,000 for it.
Yeah, for that you just take out the passenger seat though. That's how my truck is set up.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, so we were like just trying to scope it out, like we're gonna put it together. So I had heard statistics. I think it was like most new companies don't make it past the first 5 years in business. Like that's when any new company fails, is within the first 5 years. Most new companies, doesn't matter if it's trucking, but I think you're more susceptible to fail in the trucking industry if you don't have really deep pockets, or if all your stuff is not paid out in full.
Oh yeah, yeah. 'Cause, I mean, well, think about this. I saw a quick video the other day. Um, guy's truck broke down. He blew his transmission in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
At that point, you really got no choice but to have the closest place fix it, right?
Yep.
It's $18,000.
18 grand for a transmission. And I bet you that wasn't even including the cost of the tow.
I think that was the tow and that was the whole nine.
Oh, okay.
But still, I mean, if you don't have $18,000 to pay that bill, you're
Yeah.
not getting your truck back. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And I'm looking at it right here. Most trucks around the year 2010, around 2010 are about $60,000. So you're gonna pay a third of what you just paid for your whole truck on just the transmission. And that's the reality of it. And I've told this story before, and I'm sure I've told it to you, and I know some fans have heard it. But there was a gentleman that ran the depot market out near Manchester, and he bought a used truck, and then the DPF system crapped the bed. And it was like, I don't know, a couple weeks after he got the truck or something like that. Or no, he had the truck for a while. The DPF system crapped the bed, and then it was like, I think it was, the truck was going to be down for 3 weeks because the parts were on back order, and this was way before, the pandemic, And I think it cost him, like, it was something outrageous. Like, I can't even remember the number right now, but I think it had to be in the realm of like 13,000 or something like that.
For the DPF system.
Yeah, I think the whole thing was shot.
Yeah, and then now factor in the 3 weeks that he didn't work.
Yep. So he had to go and rent another truck. To compensate for all that money that he just lost. Yeah.
Passing a Freightliner. Right now.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, this truck has some really good options. But we're not really seeing anything besides that cab over so far. Oh wow, they got a 2008 Kenworth with less than 38,000 miles on it for 55,000, and it's in Texas.
38,000 original miles or 38,000 on a rebuild? Or
I
is
think.
that a typo? Like 3.8 million.
Hold on, I'll double check. Original. That
doesn't sound too bad.
No, it doesn't. 38,000, and they want 55,000 for it. Let's see. Very small bunk though. 10 speed. Yeah, and it's a gorgeous blue color, and it's a Kenworth. You can't beat that. So yeah, so we're looking at, if you guys want to buy a truck outright, we're looking at $60,000. At the minimum. Because, you figure you're going to have to go pick it up, and then you got to get it registered, insured. You got to pay any taxes on it up front. You know, what would be the taxes on something like that?
I mean, it all depends where you register it. You know, you
Yeah.
see a lot of these trucks. You know, you see a lot of companies just have a brick and mortar location in places like Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just gotta assume that Indiana is one of the cheaper places to register commercial
Yeah. Yep.
vehicles. But I mean, yeah, you want to stay away from anywhere where there's any kind of high property tax or anything like that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Connecticut certainly wouldn't be the spot to do it.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. So yeah, so let's go over expenses. So we got the truck. I mean, on average, on let's say you went and got one of these cheaper trucks for $50,000. It doesn't have a DPF system, so you know you're. Well, let's round it up to 60 just to be on the safe side. Because let's say it was between this one's 55,000, and then this one is 53,000. So you know we'll just round it up to 60, and you're looking at $60,000 to dump into the truck. And then you said your company was charging you 14 cents a mile. Your old company, I'm sorry, your old company was charging you 14 cents
Yep.
a mile for maintenance. Now, um, do you think that was too high or low?
No, I'm gonna say it was probably pretty much on par. It's probably pretty much where it's supposed, where it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, we spoke about that. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, down to roughly $420. You know, that was at 3,000 miles. That worked out $420 a week.
Yeah, so you were running 3,000 miles a week, and four. Yeah, let me. No, hold on. Let me pull that up because you said 14 times 3,000. Yeah, 420. Yeah, yep. So yeah, so they were taking $420 out of Chris's check for maintenance. So if you guys think about it, you know, you could write off $500 a week just for maintenance costs, whether you use it or not. You guys have to set up a safety account. So now you're in the hole $60,000 for a truck. You got to register it. You got to insure it. If you're going over the road, what did I pay for your insurance? It was like what 4,200.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was $4,200 a month for insurance. And granted, that might be that might. What's up, Daz? That might just be so the 4,200. It could be that high because of it was a rental and it was a newer truck. So if you have an older truck, it might dip a little bit, but it doesn't really go much lower than I think like 35. So you're looking at
My
almost
MVR was clean. You know, it's not like we weren't paying a premium because
yeah. So Chris
you know,
has a
they're not doing anything on my back or
Yep.
my MVR or anything.
so yeah. Chris had a clean driving record. I had a clean driving record, and our insurance was still that high. So you know, operating costs. You're looking at fuel. Let's pull up what the average fuel price is. What are you paying over there where you're at per gallon?
Well, we run
Mm-hmm.
Get down into like Tennessee, roughly 389. I want to say.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I just pulled it up on EIA.gov, which is the petroleum and gas diesel prices. For U.S. right now, average from 2 days ago is $4.11.
Yeah. Now that's remember too though. That's gonna be that's diesel.
Yeah, that's diesel.
Yeah. So that's also gonna be that takes into account all the regular gas stations, that we can't go to.
Yeah, yep. Let me see what the Pilot in Milford. I'll see what their prices are. Pilot Milford.
You're gonna guess 449.
Okay.
I guess.
Anybody want to take a shot to see what they're charging for diesel prices? Fuel. All right, let's see. Pilot and Milford. Let's see. What are they charging? You were close. $4.51 a gallon. So what did I say? $4.11 on average, and diesel's going for $4.51. So the Pilot charges 40 cents extra per gallon. And most trucks come, depending, if you're an over-the-road truck, you can have anywhere from like 140 to 200 gallon capacity truck. And let's say you wanted to do 100 gallons times 40 cents, that's a full $40 right there.
Every day.
And that's just for 100-gallon tank. So imagine, Pilot, they said, okay, so Ryan said he's guessing 446. Oh, and then YOLO said, don't forget about the lumper fees we gotta pay.
Yeah, thank God I don't deal with that.
Yeah. Yeah, lumpers would normally be for reefers and dry vans. More for reefers, though. I've never had to deal with the lumper fee. And if anyone doesn't know what a lumper is, it's basically this useless, asinine methodology to the BS that us truckers got to deal with. So I'll explain to you. Someone orders product. You as the driver, you get paid to get loaded, secure your load, and then deliver that product. Then the company who ordered the product, in order to offload your truck, they want to be paid to offload your truck, even though they ordered the product. That's all it is. So a lot of times people will have to go get comm checks, or they will have to work out something with the broker to get the lumpers paid in advance or while you're there. And it's just like this big, there's no reason for it. There's no reason for it. Let me see. So yeah, so 451, and our trucks get any. How does your truck do on fuel consumption? Because you're hauling heavy.
Oh, it's horrible. I'm getting guess 3 miles a gallon.
Yeah, I was gonna say about 3.5. because on a normal truck at about 80, depending on the grade, the conditions, if you're on the highway, you get anywhere from 5 to 7 miles a gallon. And with diesel being at about 451 and you being in the Northeast, you got to assume, you have to assume that because you're going to be going up and down terrain and stop and go traffic because you're in the Northeast, at least where I'm at, you can expect to get about 5 miles to the gallon. And with fuel being $5 a gallon, you got to figure that you're getting about $1 per mile, give or take. And so you figure that you can run. You figure that you can run about, um, give or take, about 500 miles a day in the Northeast. That's if you're running pretty much highway. Because you guys got to consider the mountains and downtime and stuff like that. And that's if you're already loaded from the beginning of the day, and you don't have to offload and stop anywhere. You figure. Let me see. Let me share this page with you guys. Present. Share screen. All right, so guys, keep in mind that you're running 5 miles. You're running a gallon per mile. I meant, what is it? $1 per mile. I'm sorry, $1 per mile. So if fuel's $4.51 a gallon at a truck stop, at a Pilot in Milford, and you're gonna get, just because of the terrain and everything, you're gonna get about um, 5 miles to a gallon of fuel because of the terrain and everything. You're looking at about $1 per mile. Now, if you could run, let's say you run 500 miles a day, you're looking at $500. And then let's say you run a 6-day work week, you're looking at $3,000 for fuel a week. So keep that in mind. So every time that you guys have to deadhead, and if you guys don't know what any of these terms mean, leave it down in the comment section. But or if I say anything that you don't understand, but deadhead miles is any miles that you have to travel to go get a load that you're not loaded and you're not being paid for. So you're looking at $3,000 just for fuel for 1 week of fuel. So now it goes back to the original question: how much money are we going to need to stay afloat? So, not only are we in the hole 60,000, you have to put aside money for maintenance. You have to put aside money for your DOT, your operating authority, your IFTA, your taxes, your insurance. We already established insurance is about $4,000 a month if you're doing long haul, or if you leave within 500 air miles of your home base. It's about $4,000 a month. And then you're looking at about $12,000 a month in just fuel. So if you take this number right here, you're looking at about $3,000 per week if you run 500 miles a day, with fuel being at about $4.51 a gallon, more or less, and more or less, 5 miles to the gallon. And you run a 6-day work week, you're looking at $3,000. Now, if you take that $3,000 a week and you multiply that by a month, 4 weeks, you're looking at a $12,000 fuel bill, give or take, for 1 month of running. 12,000. So trucking companies have to pump out so much freight to make up for that $12,000. Now, let's see what the average. Hey, Chris, what would you say is the average rate on a flatbed load?
I can only go back to when I was pulling the flatbed, and again, this was half my problem with force dispatch. But I mean, they were pulling loads for me 225 to 290. Very rare, very rare did I break $3 a mile.
Mm-hmm.
And those were tarp loads.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. So did you guys hear that? Hold on. Let me. So Chris just said he was barely breaking $3 a mile, and that was tarping the load.
And they would be heavy, again, I had no input, I couldn't pick and choose a light load with no tarp. You'd be full truck of lumber or coils or, whatever,
Yeah.
Weight equals fuel.
Yep. So I just pulled it up right now. Let me see what this is. Video file. Share screen. In the Northeast, the average flatbed load, according to TCIcapital.com, for the month of March is $2.38 a mile.
You never make it at 238 a mile.
So at 238 a mile, right? So check this out, guys. So average, it could be higher, it could be lower, right? So we're gonna go with hold on, 238 a mile, and we already said it's gonna take about $1 a mile just for fuel. So right now we're just gonna take $1. Oh crap! We're gonna take $1 off of this price. What is going on? So 238. Jesus Christ! I don't know what the hell's going on. 238 a mile. So you subtract $1, you got $1.38. That's simple math. So out of that $1.38, what you say? Let me see. Sorry, I'm just trying to. I don't know what's going on with my calculator. 1 second, guys. All right, so 238 a mile. I don't know what's going on. There we go. 238 a mile minus $1 for fuel. You're left with $1.38. Subtract. Do you, Chris? You think 14 cents? Oh, I think I asked you that, right? 14 cents is a
Yeah,
good
I think,
number.
yeah, that was pretty on par. Yep.
All right. So that means you're left with $1.24 a mile to cover your insurance. And we've already established how many miles you're driving a week, right? So we said it's about 3,000 miles a week if you run a 6-day work week running 500 miles. Okay, let's do the math. So 3,000 miles times $1.24. That is your after maintenance costs. You're looking at $3,700 for the week to cover the cost of your insurance. Okay, so we already, we already talked about that. So 3720, and we will subtract $1,000 because it's about $4,000 a month for over the road trucking insurance. So now you're left with 2720, not including if the taxes, not including. Did we calculate fuel? Yeah, we already calculated fuel. So, so now you're down to $2,720 for the week to spread that amongst everything. So your fuel, your insurance, your fuel, your insurance, and your maintenance, excuse me, is already covered. Then you got to deal with if the taxes. If the taxes vary, depends on the states that you run in. It's normally no more than like a couple of cents or whatever, per mile, per day, whatever it adds up to. The amount of miles that we ran, we never had to pay like a super substantial amount of money for IFTA. But then, you have to pay yourself and you have to take into account for taxes. Cargo insurance. Well, yeah, we already covered the insurance. That's about $1,000.
Well, that was all inclusive liability, cargo.
Yeah, yep, that was all inclusive. But also, what about maintenance for the trailer? Or are we renting a trailer? Did we buy a trailer? We haven't even covered the trailer yet. This is just for the tractor.
Yeah, I was paying $190 a week for the trailer.
Okay, so and that was just maintenance or whatever.
That was just the trailer rental. It was I think it was $190 a week for the trailer. Then like $40 for the plates, $15 for the e-log.
Yep, and not including your subscription to any spot market freight websites like truckstop.com or what's the other one?
Oh, they got a bunch. 123. They got that.
Yeah, yep. Any of the load boards, you got to pay for monthly subscriptions for that. But then you guys got to remember the time that you guys would spend booking loads. You guys should be hauling that freight. So the time that you're, coils should definitely pay more. It's a lot more dangerous, for sure. But the time, yeah, that's what Chris.
Smashed the whole top of my finger yesterday.
Oh man. So then you're probably gonna want to hire someone, like a dispatcher for your company, because how are you going to haul the freight, pull over, like you're taking time away from your day to pull over and call these brokers and book another load, you can easily spend a couple of hours a day trying to book loads and find the best rate for you and your company. So, if anyone wanted to so if anyone wanted to get into the trucking industry, I think that now's not the time, because even on the low end, you know, most dispatchers charge about 10% per load, give or take. And you don't want a dispatching service, you want someone that's going to work for you. And the amount of money that you're making after taxes, you'll be lucky if you're able to pay yourself like, I don't know, $800 a week. If you're lucky. Let's see. So YOLO said, so you don't have to pay the taxes on top of the fuel that's already there. So when we fuel up at the fuel island, there are taxes included in the price that we pay. But commercial truckers, we have to pay what's called an IFTA tax. IFTA is IFTA. It stands for International Fuel Tax Association. So we have to pay an additional tax on the fuel. And we have to pay additional tax on the fuel that we purchase in whatever states. And then and the states that we run in. And then on top of that, we also have to pay for tolls. That's another big one. And yeah, we didn't even talk about tolls. You go over to George Washington like I did, cost your company $100.
It's up. It went up to 100. Is it 110 or 120 now?
$120 for a one-way.
Forget if it's 110 or 120, but it did go up. Yeah.
That's ridiculous. So it went up 20%. Yep. So Ryan says stay out of New York and New Jersey. YOLO said might as well throw in some chains for the drives. We're going all out. But something else that
you could keep the chains. If I got a chain up, I'm parking it.
Yeah. Yep.
I throw enough chains all day.
Yeah. So what some people don't realize is that here in the state of Connecticut, we actually have a new heavy not a heavy haul, a new highway tax for commercial vehicles now. Did you know that, Chris? In the state of Connecticut, we have a Connecticut highway use tax.
So what? They're just joining in with New York there with the HUD sticker.
Basically.
So that in itself is something you didn't bring up either. So you got certain states like New York and now Connecticut that have the HUD.
Yeah, except we're not given stickers. I think they just tax that onto our IFTA.
Yeah. But if you want to drive through New York, you have to have a HUD sticker.
Yeah.
So that costs money. You want to come, like I'm currently in Ohio. Ohio has what they call PUCA. I forget what it stands for, but it's pretty much the same thing. It's a highway use tax, and your vehicle has to conform to all that jazz.
Hold on one second. Ryan, you have to look at the George Washington toll rate for tractor trailers. And if that is it, I apologize. Let me see. George Washington. Let's So tractor trailer. Yeah, so we're looking at tractor trailers. $115. So let me show you.
115.
Yep, 115.
I knew it was there somewhere.
Yep. All right, so I want to share this with all you viewers. So the one that we're going to be looking at is line number 5. The reason why line number 5 applies to us is because it specifically says vehicles with 5 axles or combinations of vehicles totaling 5 axles. So even though the tractor in the photo is a single single corkscrew axle on the tractor, and the trailer has 3 axles on the trailer, all you it, a dual axle or a tandem axle cab with a tandem axle trailer plus the one steer axle would equal 5 axles. So if you scroll over, and that's the ones that me and Chris would normally drive, but now Chris, you drive you drive what, a spread, or you drive a triple axle?
We have all either some form of we have a bunch of different triaxle setups, or
Yeah.
we have quad axles. So the trailer is always going to have at least 3, if not 4 axles.
Okay, so according to this, what do you have now?
Right now, I have what they call a tridem. I have 3 axles set all the way to the rear of my trailer.
Okay, so according to that, your toll would be $138, and any additional axles would be $23 each. Yeah. And let's see. And then there's a difference in if you have Easy Pass during peak hours. Yeah, if you have Easy Pass, it's $100 with a regular tandem axle trailer, regular tandem axle tractor. It would be $100, but if you use tolls by mail, it's 115. So, yeah. So yeah, Ryan might be right. Hold on, I'm looking at it right now. So line 5, yeah. So it says $100 during peak hours, and then 115 if you use toll by mail all hours. And they only collect tolls going eastbound, so basically headed to Connecticut.
Right, but you also pay going into Jersey. You just don't pay New York, you pay Jersey.
Hmm. Yeah, Ryan was close. We're only talking about a difference of $20. I mean, when you get into it, you kind of get into it. So, if I were to say, is it worth getting into business right now? I mean, you're looking at over it to be on the safe side. I would say over $250,000 just to stay afloat in the trucking industry. And that's not even including if you have enough money to, um, if you have enough money to hold you over, because remember, you dished out $12,000 for the month for fuel. Do you have enough money in your bank account to sustain for a net 30 payday? So if you guys don't know what that means, a lot of brokers have 30 business days, not total days, to pay you, unless you get the load factored, or if it's like a really classy broker, which is, they're like a dime a dozen. So I mean, they're not a they're less than,
Classy broker don't go together.
yeah, yep. I mean, I've met one. She's pretty cool. Um, but you know, it's very rare that you'll come across a broker that will pay you within the same week. PUC. I've never heard of PUC.
Yeah, they got that out here in Ohio.
Yeah. So if you don't know what the net 30
You're
is,
feeling it. You're telling me I'm tired.
oh, it's telling you that you're tired.
It's telling me I'm tired. It's time to shut down.
How many hours you got left on your clock?
29 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. You're gonna
That's
make.
the other thing you got to, that's the other thing you got to deal with. You don't, you're not allowed to work until you're tired. That computer tells you when you're tired. You got no choice.
And then you got to shut down when it tells you to shut down.
Well, yeah, I got 29 minutes left on my drive clock, so
Yeah,
I got a rest area coming up here in 4 miles.
yeah. But let's say it detected that you were tired before you were even close to having not. Let's say it detected that you were tired before you were running out of hours.
Oh no, it doesn't. It's not like that. I'm talking about the regulations.
Oh, okay.
That's telling me when I'm tired.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, so if you guys don't have the money to sustain your expenditures for at least 30 days, then you're not going to make it unless you factor each load. And then every time you factor, it could be anywhere from 3 to 5% of whatever the load originally paid. Oh, Public Utilities Commission. Yeah, all those taxes and stuff are just crazy. Because when you think about it, we already pay taxes to go to funding the road. Then they tax us on the fuel to go towards fixing the roads or whatever. And then they got tolls, which go towards funding fixing the roads. And then you got IFTA taxes, which goes towards funding of fixing the roads, allegedly. And then you got the Connecticut highway use tax. Like, that's like 6 different taxes. And the roads out here in Connecticut are less than perfect. And then you got a beard tax. Yep. For having a dirty beard. Because your beard is dirty. So, I mean, I don't know, Chris. What do you think? $250,000 would be a safe number?
Yeah, probably.
Because you're looking at startup costs alone just to buy a truck. You're looking at $60,000 for the truck, $4,000 for the insurance. Maybe a couple hundred to $1,000 to register it, plus any taxes you owe on the truck. plus you want to have enough money for fuel for at least, a couple of months. You're looking at 100 grand right there. And then, that's not even including paying yourself. That's not even including the insurance for the other months. Can you wait the 30 days? That's not including paying someone to dispatch you. That's not including, the tolls. That's not including the maintenance. You're probably, just to be on the safe side, and you're going to expect to work for pennies on the dollar or fractions of pennies on the dollar. You're going to be making less than $10 an hour when you boil it down. So Ryan said, keep in mind Lamont wants to start taxing tractor trailers instead of putting up tolls. Oh, they already do that with the Connecticut highway use tax. Because Rhode Island recently got in trouble. What was it, Chris? It was unconstitutional.
Yeah, they deemed it unconstitutional.
So what Rhode Island did was, the state of Rhode Island, they had exclusive tractor trailer tolls, and we used to get hit with those tolls a lot because the Penske that we picked up from was actually in Rhode Island. Yeah, YOLO. So YOLO said uh, they they put patches on the road. That's annoying. Uh, yeah. So YOLO, they do the same thing over here. They just put patches on the road. It's very rare we get brand new roads, if at any. Yeah. So I'd say just for the first couple of months, you're gonna want of operating. You're gonna want at least 250 grand if you're gonna buy your truck outright and expect to stay afloat. But just remember, after the first couple of months and after that 250 grand goes, don't expect to pay yourself more than like 800 to maybe $1,000 a week, if that. With the current rates, you guys just saw it. We just broke it down. With the current rates and the way that the market is right now, because you're gonna have to pay someone to take on the extra responsibility of booking your loads, and just making sure everything with the company is on the up and up, making sure the taxes are paid, making sure the tolls are taken care of, all of that stuff. If you don't set it up for automatic payment, um, you know, you, you're gonna want at least 250,000, I'd say, at least. But this is no market if unless you have dedicated freight or dedicated customers, and a lot of them, or if you do, or if you offer something special that not a lot of companies offer in your area, then you're pretty much SOL. So, oh, and that brings another point. So, Chris, so the reason why I think that's part of the reason why I called you. I think that XPO is doing RRT in Connecticut.
Oh yeah.
That thing is annoying, dude.
Yeah, it just turned on again because I looked real quick. I got 23 minutes left on my clock, but there's a truck stop 17 miles down the highway instead of the rest area on the highway.
Mm. So you got to make it with 5 minutes to spare. You said 17 miles.
17 miles. Yeah, I got 23 minutes.
So
Yeah, I'll be fine. I got to speed a little bit. Because I'm permitted, I'm limited to 55 here in Ohio, but I'll be alright.
you got, and this is what us truckers deal with. To avoid stopping at a rest stop on the highway, he's trying to get to an official truck stop off the highway for added safety, and he's risking running out of hours or running out of time to get to a truck stop with 5 minutes left on his clock. And this is why I trust Chris with my life, because I know he'll get it done. This is why I was honored to have him as a part of my team, because when push came to shove, we did what we had to do each and every day. Each and every day, we used to run our clocks out. Him more so me, uh, because I was in the Northeast and it was like a little bit different. But everywhere that Chris goes, the truck stops are almost always full. I don't want to jinx it, you know. I know there's going to be parking where he's at.
Well, I looked first, and they have reserved parking, and there's 16 spots available. So, worst case scenario, I gotta pay to park.
Yeah. And so, yeah, what I was saying was, for those viewers who don't know, RRT stands for Rapid Response Team. So when we used to run the XPO contract, if there was an area in a state that needed extra attention or extra drivers, or they couldn't find permanent drivers, they would they would up they would up the price of the contract just to entice like mercenaries, like Chris and I, we used to do RRT, and that stands for Rapid Response Team. So you could get a phone call and they'll say, "Hey, we need a driver that's ready to go, that's trained to operate the Moffat, and that knows logistics, that can go to, like, for instance, one of the areas that we started off with for RRT was Pocomoke, Maryland, and we got paid a higher rate out there than what we normally got paid, because we left at the drop of a hat to go run those contracts. Now in the winter time, it's not very common at all that you see RRT drivers. But since the market out here has changed, especially with Home Depot opening a distribution center, I heard not a lot of drivers are sticking around for that, because it was supposed to alleviate the pressure from the stores to perform, and instead of wiping out their stock at the store, the customers' products would get fulfilled from the distribution center, which is like near Hartford. I think it's in like Windsor or Windsor Locks. And then the drivers are supposed to show up there at the DC at 6 a.m. and pick up their preloaded trailers and then go make their deliveries. And from what I heard, the drivers would show up and they'd be there for more than half the day waiting for their trailer to get done getting loaded. And if you're not moving, you're not making money. So some drivers, they would just go home. And then they would call them up at, 5 p.m. talk about, "Hey, come get your trailer." And the driver's like, "I'm done for the day. I was there all day." So if they can't, now this is just speculation, this isn't confirmed, but in the last like 2 weeks, and Chris can attest to this. It is so frowned upon to show up for a RRT contract with the sleeper truck, because a lot of these areas that you're going to be going to, you don't know what you're getting yourself into, and there's a lot of tight situations that we would not be happy campers with if we had sleepers, and sleepers are way too big for the areas that we service, especially running those contracts, especially going where those forklifts gotta go. We would be smacking tree branches all the time. And then I saw another truck today, where the driver was parked at a hotel. It was at like a Marriott or something, and the driver was parked at a Marriott, and that's how you know it's a RRT driver. I pulled up the US DOT number. They actually come from the Carolinas up here. So YOLO said, I take it that the man on speakerphone is driving with a governor on. So he's not really governed. He because he does heavy haul in the state of Ohio, he is limited to his speed at 55.
Our trucks are governed, though. We are governed slower than everybody else.
Yeah.
But it just so happens Ohio is one of the states where if you're under permit, your speed limit is 55. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But our company, we're governed at 65. They don't want us going faster than that with 100 and, gross 125,000 pounds.
Well, all I could say is if you step on the brake hard enough, make sure you dive to the left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just get out the way.
Coils are not, they call them suicide coils and widow makers for a reason.
Yeah, yep. Exactly. All right, Chris, hang on 1 second, okay? All right, guys, this is going to wrap up this live, but what I am going to do is I'm going to re-go live, but I'm going to re-go live on, what is it? I'm going to re-go live on, give me 1 second. I'm going to re-go live on Rumble, and it's going to be a Rumble exclusive video. So if you guys don't have the link for Rumble, I will put it up on screen right now. Give me 1 second. And it's going to be a Rumble exclusive live. So follow us on Rumble right here. I'm going to include the link right here. Just give me a couple minutes to swap over. And I'll see you guys on Rumble. I've never gone live on Rumble, so if it doesn't work, then I'll just post an announcement or something. I'm going to post it in the live chat right here. And we're going to do a quick Rumble live exclusive. Make sure you guys click that link, hit that follow button on Rumble. And I was trying to do it on here, but the live stream didn't do it. So does everyone have the Rumble link? Muddy Waters, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Make sure you smash that like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe, baby. YOLO says that the railroads need to get straight. Chris, what do you think? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on there.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll talk about that on Rumble, guys. Yeah, exactly. All right, so let me end this YouTube live stream, and then I'm gonna jump on Rumble. Nothing's gonna change on your end, Chris. All right, guys, go on to Rumble right now. I'm ending this live, and then I'll be going live on Rumble.